Johnson music.
The reason you lift your hand is because you already believed. You're saying, I believe.
I just wanna edify my mama, set aside some commas, rectify the trauma, electrify the genre, never specialize in drama, let it slide the comma, can jeopardize the honor, mesmerize the genre, like the unexpected rise of Obama, they biting backs like Jeffrey Dahmer. Holy tabernacle, he's chosen me for battle, bows release the arrows, foes get to ravel, dopamines get sampled, globally we travel. On shoulder feed in chat rooms, and poetry and rap tunes, rosaries and candles, supposed to be on mantles. Open up the good book, they spoke of me in Matthews. Socially they back you, but covertly attack you. Woe is me, they baffle. Roll of weed tobacco, usurping on the flagpole, exposing these apples. I spoke to priests and chapels, the Godfather's apple. We vocally collabo, hopefully this grabs you. Emotionally it has to, the dopest beast to rap to. Holy tabernacle, my poetry is faction.
You're saying, I believe.
Who is he? It's the merit to know this Holy Spirit. Everybody's got to know. Just be the crying. I'm being how this love's written, with that feeling what it does to him. Who is he? Here, wolf at the poor, crown no thorns. Like the show, church must go on. Who is he? You ought to know from the glow strong, still clean even with clothes on. The love fashion, that's blessings active beyond social status. That's the bin you having. Birds big, beyond crosses to carry. Then a love like this average. Past the lie, here with you now, I never died. Those weakest stay sabotage. Face you recognize, I reckon that loving you weaponize. Deuteronomy, hate you saw the blinded beings. Truth in D-Win, they ought to know this feeling. Who is he? Virgin both, anointed with that glow. One who first up for service, putting work in. Who is he? No false idols, rivals, blessingness and light to incite truth. Christ conscious. Who is he? You already know. Stop the nonsense. Who is he? Face the mirror to know this Holy Spirit. Who is he? Face the mirror to know this Holy Spirit. Who is he? Face the mirror to know this Holy Spirit. Who is he? Face the mirror to know this Holy Spirit.
You're saying, I believe.
Peace to the family, peace to you and yours. Welcome to another episode of Melanin Mondays. This is your host, the brother Red Pill, reporting live and direct. It's a little late, but you know, never too late. You know what I'm saying? Never too late. We're right on time. I was previously engaged in a little bit of gym activity. So I was going super hard at the gym, and I didn't realize that time was flying, and it was goddamn midnight. So I had to get up out of there and make it back so I could do this episode. You know what I'm talking about? If only I had a CD player. Nah, sister. No. You don't need CD player. The pillars are in the future, okay? The pillars is here with technology. The Pillars is on Spotify. This is on Spotify. This is on Tidal. Okay, this is on Tidal, Spotify, Apple Music, Beats. I'm talking about. Yeah, niggas is global. How about it? We're digital, baby. Yeah, we made it. I'm on Spotify. So we just got on Spotify the other day. We're on Tidal. Shout out to Jay-Z. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. The album is streaming. You could go and get that digitally. Yeah. You can have, yeah. I know none of y'all got CD players or laptops with. Truth be told, though, this is just for the aesthetics. Like, this is for the collector's item. I'll be trying to explain to y'all. This is for the collector's item aspect. You might think you don't need it as a yeah. Let me tell you, baby. In a few years, this is gonna be definitely worth something. What happens at the end of the year? The Rolling Stones or one of these magazines come out and call Twin album one of the albums of the year. Then you're gonna be like, damn, I wish I had my copy. You know what I'm talking about? So go and order that at twinthealbum.com. If you want your physical copies, go to twinthealbum.com. It's a red and a blue disc, 23 songs, a double disc. We went all the way in. You know what I mean? We put together a very nice musical project. Definitely good for the summer. It's definitely good for working out, especially the red disc. The blue disc is like when you want to sip on some wine and roll up a few joints and whatnot. If you wore out Netflix and chill, if that shit don't work for you no more, put the blue CD on. It's a lot of poetry. You know what I'm talking about? A lot of laid back tunes and whatnot. So that's the blue disc is for the laid back. You might be in a car, you want to be cruising and whatnot. You got the ladies with you, you know, throwing the blue disc. The red disc is turn up. If you want to turn up, if you want to go into a energetic place, you know what I'm talking about? Yeah, tap into that. So, a lot of stuff going on, right? A lot of stuff going on. Last time that we previously met up, we were talking about XXX-Tentacion, or I like to refer him as XXX-Tentacion. Tachyon, the tachyon energy that Dr. Phil Valentine and Delbert Blair talk about. They built on the tachyon energy, which is tachyon energy is an energy that moves faster than light and sound. It is a very powerful energy. That young man broke the internet, okay? Nothing was being talked about for a few days. The impact of his passing affected many people in many walks of life who are not even fans of his music, didn't even hear the brother's music like that. But obviously, whenever this soul left the planet, there was an impact. And then today, I'm walking past the Apollo on the way to the gym. Oh, somebody asked, what's the agenda for the Norfolk visit? Will it be music, lecture, or both? It will be both. I just signed the contract for that lecture today. Let me get the calendar. Thank you for asking. We're going to get right back into what I was saying about Michael Jackson's transition today and some of the similarities of that death date. So, hold on. Norfolk is the 25th. Look at my calendar. Check out this calendar. I was gifted this calendar at, I believe it was the Black Power Awards. Brother gifted one for me. Mama Pill. You know what I mean? Today's month is showcasing Prince. I think it's Prince. Red and blue, purple like Prince. Right? So every month it showcases somebody in our race that did some monumental works. So salute to the African American historical calendar. Okay? So August 25th and the 26th. So put that on your calendar. August 25th and August 26th, we will be in Norfolk, Virginia. We are going to be performing and we're going to be teaching. It's going to be Red Pill, Blue Pill, and Professor Griff. Okay? That's the trio. That will be in Norfolk, Virginia at the end of the month of August, right before September. So please spread the word, be in the building. I want Pusha T in the building. Like, you know what I mean? I want Norfolk royalty. I want to see Missy Elliott in the Neptunes. Pharrell needs to pull up with Chad. So that should be very exciting. We was in Norfolk about 2 years ago. We had a very interesting time. I didn't get to finish my lecture. I remember that lecture. Brother Mike brought us out there from Pantherware. I wasn't able to finish my lecture. I did meet some very interesting people along the way. Shout out to Chip. Shout out to all of the people who welcomed us with open arms in Norfolk and in Richmond. You know what I'm talking about? There were it was a lot of Southern hospitality we were afforded. So shout out to y'all and whatnot. And yeah, we're gonna have some fun. We're gonna have some fun. We're gonna perform because that music that we got is fire, and we need to perform that. I want to get on global stages. I was watching clips of the BET Awards. I didn't watch it. I watched clips of it, and I saw Meek Mill's "Stay Woke" performance. Stay woke, y'all. Okay, make sure y'all stay woke. So Meek Mill is on the Stay Woke wave. Um, we spoke about this before, but I'm going to speak about it again because I want y'all to have a better understanding of the opportunities that are awaiting you and are afforded you in what is known as the woke marketplace. Okay? So the woke marketplace has existed before in the 60s and the 70s and the 80s and the 90s, and now it's here again. And what we know as the woke marketplace is where consciousness is commercialized. That's called the woke marketplace. And if you are out there and you want to capitalize on a little bit of consciousness, you go ahead and enter into the woke marketplace. Inside of the woke marketplace are Stay Woke t-shirts for sale, Stay Woke stickers for sale, Stay Woke bandanas for sale. They might even have Stay Woke condoms. We got Stay Woke condoms for sale. Stay woke, all right? Stay Woke music, Stay Woke socks, Stay Woke bandanas, Stay Woke aprons. You know what I'm talking about? Some niggas even got Stay Woke grills. So inside of the woke the reason why we say woke is a marketplace is because this whole woke movement, you know what I mean? And I'm not shitting on any movement. I'm not trying to throw any rocks. I'm not being condescending. I want to utilize that disclosure before I move forward, because sometimes when people identify as something and you begin to build on it or talk about it, they automatically take it personal as if they're being attacked or if somebody's trying to ridicule them. That's furthest from the point. That's furthest from the point. What I'm trying to do, or what I'm attempting to do, or what I'm doing is I'm going to change your perception about woke versus what you may see as what is known as consciousness, meaning that the two exist alongside each other, but they're somewhat different. They're somewhat different. Great question, George Nunez. We're going to talk about some white fragility. We're going to talk about the trade wars. We're going to talk about the immigrant children, those cages that they got those children in and stuff like that. Okay, we're going to build on that. We're going to build about Junior's death in the Bronx. Rest in peace to the young man, Junior, who got macheted and knifed to death by a group of 5 gang member thugs. Okay, some lifeless I won't even say human beings, because the way they're acting are more like they're savages. So these savages are in the New York City area, stabbing up 15-year-olds and hacking them to death with machetes, and based off of their hatred that they have for the youth, or the hatred that they have for somebody of their own race. But they reserve that hatred for individuals of their own race because, you know, there hasn't been a hacking death of somebody who is, you know, of the other persuasion in a very long time. So, going back to what I was talking about with the woke marketplace, consciousness is information. Consciousness is the schools of thought and knowledge. Consciousness are these different disciplines. The Nation of Islam, the MSTA, the Fruit of Islam, the Nuwabians, the metaphysical teachers, the occult teachers and their students. So you have teachers like Bobby Hemmett, you have teachers like Brother Panic, you have teachers like Dr. Phil Valentine, you have teachers like Delbert Blair. These teachers are the ones who created this body of brothers and sisters who are identified as students of consciousness. Without the teachers, there are no students. How about that? Without the teachers or without the teachings, what the fuck do you have? I don't really think that the numbers that we claim and what we know as consciousness or this expansion of people who are waking up, you would never have woken up if not for the teachings of these teachers. Now, let me get some, give me a minute. Whenever you going in, you need to make sure that you're, taken care of and whatnot. So I got to take some histonics, right? From KT the Arts Degree. Make sure you go and visit KT the Arts Degree's website because he has some elixirs and some herbs that are extremely powerful. This is from my good brother Panic. All right. This is for the pineal. Oh yeah, that album is definitely a classic. I really appreciate that, Taylor. You know what I'm saying? That's not off topic because we was talking about that earlier. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, that album is definitely certified. So, going back to this whole thing about consciousness, right? So, if it were not for the teachings of the teachers, and I'm going all the way back 100 years. Yeah, KTTheArchDegree.com. KT, like Kamani Thomas, TheArchDegree.com. That's where you can find these herbs. The histonic, which is a very powerful herb. It's an enzyme activator, a histone regulator, and a cytochrome P450 nourisher. This is some high science, y'all. All right. The herb is in droplets. You put it on your tongue and then you swallow it. You know? So, the teachers, all right? And pardon me, I don't mean to be taking herbs in front of y'all and shit like that, but, why not? You know what I mean? It's not like I'm sniffing some drugs. You know what I'm talking about? Or it's not like I'm wilding out. I'm only taking herbs. That's something that we should be used to seeing that we don't really see.
Who is he? Thanks America to know this Holy Spirit. Jesus.
Come through, Jesus. Come through. So, that's something that we should be seeing more often. Like people taking their herbs and whatnot. Like, you know what I'm saying? We see people on Instagram and social media taking drugs, blowing smoke. You know what I mean? I seen a nigga smoking K2 the other day. So, I see people doing lectures with coke residue in their nose. So why not take herbs and encourage people to be healthy? But anyway, consciousness, like I said, is really not seen as the marketplace. When you get into what is known as the woke movement or woke-ish, that's where the marketplace evolves. That's where the marketplace is. People like Charlemagne the God, people like Angela Rye, people like Meek Mills now, people like Jay-Z when he's on his 444, people like Diddy talking about black excellence. All that is a marketplace. All of that is commodification of what is known as consciousness. That's where consciousness is sold. Be very fucking clear. All right. So you could participate in that market, but understand what you're participating in and treat it as such. Shit. Don't be in no woke motherfucking areas and you're not getting paid. You know what I'm talking about? Don't be in no woke arenas or no woke places or no woke spaces and you're not commodifying your intelligence. You don't have to ask permission to monetize your intellectual property. Bird brain, you know what I'm talking about? I don't ever want to hear somebody talk about how free their information is or how free they're flowing their information and they're giving it to the people because it's something of a service and it's free. Listen, you retard. What the fuck do you do for a living? You know what I'm talking about? It's niggas that work for white people or corporations that probably work for Monsanto saying dumb shit like that. Oh, I give my information for free. Yeah, because in your labor, in your labor aspect, You probably tied into a corporation or a Fortune 500 company or the city that you work for, a city job like a corrections officer or a fucking clerk or something, and you're just forward in the system all day. You know what I mean? So no, get the bag. Your natural talents and skills. If you are intelligent, if you are smart in the age of information or what is known, do you know that there's something called infopreneurs? Like there's entrepreneurs, there's something called infopreneurs. Go and look it up. That means an entrepreneur of information. Fuck is you talking about? Like, don't ever let anybody fool you with a conversation about commodifying your culture. That's why that's why Negroes are unemployed by the millions. That's why Negroes are in jail, legal slaves by the millions. That's why Negroes are on the train that's why niggas are treating the train system like motherfucking a hotel chain. You know what I mean? They treating that shit like a Motel 6 and, the Hilton. They treating the goddamn trains like the Hilton everywhere in the urban America. It's because you didn't commodify your culture. What is your culture? Nigga, your culture is hip hop and it's worth $1 trillion. And you didn't commodify it. You didn't eat off of that. You didn't make yourself a billionaire, a billy goat, utilizing your culture. And guess who did? The Jabberwockies did. You know what I'm talking about? The Jabberwockies did. These little niggas in Korea called K-pop. They did that. The breakdancers in Japan, nigga, they did that. You know what I mean? That whole rap battle league where all of them niggas is white out of Canada, King of the Ring, like, nigga, they did that. Eminem did that. You know what I'm talking about? Like, everybody who don't look like you, Post Malone, White Iverson, yeah, he did that. Fuck is you saying? Like, they're taking your information, they're taking your culture, they're taking something that's supposed to be using, you're supposed to be using that to nation build. You're supposed to be using that to build Fortune 500s. You're supposed to be using that to build up brands. You niggas are brand ambassadors for brands that have no ties whatsoever to your communities. You know what I'm talking about? That's not your brand. You're only getting paid peanuts. You're not even getting paid equity. It's not too many niggas this sharp that demand equity versus upfront payments. You're only getting fiat. That money's going to waste because your financial advisor who's down with the same people who are jerking you, he's going to have you spend your money on some frivolous shit that don't have nothing to do with uplifting fallen humanity or your people or anything that's going to empower the youth of the community that you come out of. And if you do come back in your community with a bag, it's going to be a little fucking, it's not going to be a Birkin bag. You niggas coming back with a man purse, a merce. You know what I'm saying? Not the big bag. You ain't coming back with the big bucket bag. You coming back to your hood with a merce, meaning that you'll do something over the summer. You'll cut a little check. You know what I'm talking about? You'll get some niggas book bags and whatnot, but you're not really digging in. You're not really linking up and having investment groups with all of these athletes, actors, rappers, and entertainers and people who are behind the scenes making the real money, like the managers, the management, and all of that stuff, the record labels. These niggas ain't building nothing. These niggas ain't building nothing. And it's not about being owners of the league. You know what I'm talking about? It's not being... Nigga, do you know what era that you live in? You know you live in the age of the entrepreneur? Do you know you live in the age of a digital boom? Do you know you live in a different fucking age? You don't live in a crack era no more. You live in an age where billionaires and millionaires are being made daily. What are you talking about? What the hell are you talking about? And there's individuals in our neighborhoods. More so, there were more before because it was more money in the streets before. It was more money in Black America before. I don't know if you niggas been outside lately, but there's no money out there anymore. You know what I'm saying? There's no money out there anymore. So there used to be money out there. I saw a clip earlier with AA when he was talking about how the OGs with the bread or people who are financially secure, they would peruse Black neighborhoods. They would search for the talent. They would search for people to invest in because they understood the importance of keeping your gifted and your talented in your community because that adds on to the value and it adds on to the overall value of the collective. and the community. Case in point, when they gentrify your community, your rent goes up, your bills go up, everything, even the food in the grocery store goes up when groups of Europeans come into your neighborhood. Why? Because they set it up to where they add value to themselves, even individually, but more so as a group. So if they come into your neighborhood as a group, the cost of living and everything goes up because they're adding value to each other. They're like, yo, nigga, we're worth millions of dollars. Fuck is you saying? Like, the rent, everything goes up when they come through. You know what I'm saying? Like, you niggas can't pull up and shit gets gentrified. You don't got it. Like, you know what I'm talking about? Like, where you gonna pull up and the cost of living goes up? Talk to me. Where you niggas pull up and shit just starts going up? The rent increases $1,000. No, you niggas pull up and the rent goes down $1,000. You niggas pull up and shit starts deteriorating. You niggas pull up and bread gets cheaper. How about that? Bread gets cheaper when you niggas pull up. You don't got the Midas touch. You got the Thanos touch. You touch shit and it turns into dust. They touch shit and it turns into gold. What the fuck is going on? And you niggas supposed to be made out of gold and Mansa Musa in your bloodline and whatnot. But you can't explain to me that there's nowhere on the planet where we could go as a collective and the cost of living and all of the shit rises up. Shit just starts getting clean around us. Motherfucking houses automatically get painted. Broken windows get fixed. That's the kind of vibe that we need to be on. That's the kind of time that we need to be on. If you niggas is talking about you reincarnated gods and goddesses and we was KINGZ and whatnot, well, goddamn it, wherever the fuck you pop up, pyramids and mounds should pop up for all of the aboriginal indigenous people that are out there that are claiming land treaty rights and all of that stuff. Nigga, pull up, pop out. You know what I'm talking about? Pop out and make some shit change because you have the power to do that. You do have the power to do that. It's the fact that we have not exercised that power to the full degree. But going back to what I was saying earlier, there's a marketplace called woke. Woke is a marketplace. Woke is not a movement. Woke is not a way of thinking. Woke is not a way of walking and talking. Nigga, woke is a marketplace. So if you want to commodify your intellectual property, there's so many voids that have to be filled. This is a new era. This is the fifth industrial revolution. You're living in the fifth or the fourth industrial revolution right fucking now. And the only thing that you got to come up with is filling a void. The only thing that your ass has to come up with, you're not even tasked with a lot of fucking responsibility. The one thing that you have to magically come up with, that you could talk to the ancestors and ask them to rain on, bring the answers to you. You could rub on your girl's, you know what I'm saying, her derriere, you know what I'm talking about, on a full moon, you know, and, you know, and send her up to the moon, you know what I'm talking about, and make it manifest. And make it manifest. But you do live in that time. In case nobody ever fucking told you, if they didn't care enough to let you know the times that you live in, and they had you thinking that you lived in some fucking 18th dynasty or some other era or some other epoch and whatnot, where, you know, I don't know, it's so many different schools of thought and knowledge that take people on these mental trips where they're not dealing with the now, whatever it is. No, right now, you have the ability to make it happen overnight. I literally overnight. Literally, you could make it happen overnight. So there's an argument, or there's a conversation going on even in the woke communities, even in the conscious communities. That conversation deals with victimhood. That conversation deals with poverty-minded consciousness. That conversation deals with lack. That conversation is lack heavy, and it's not dealing with abundance, and it's not dealing with futurism, and it's not dealing with Afrofuturism, and it's not dealing with victorhood, not victimhood, but victorhood, like Victor Cruz, my nigga. Victor, being a victor, meaning you a winner. That conversation is not being made. No, people are not talking about the new economies. People are not talking about what the future holds for us. So we need to figure out what rooms are these conversations being had in, and what does it take to get in these motherfucking spaces? What does it take to get in these rooms? Because these conversations are what are changing the world. You niggas, a lot of niggas, don't get it fucked up. You're not changing the world with the conversations that many people are having. Not you on this live. All of y'all are legends. I'm talking about the masses who tend to be the asses, even in these communities. The conversations that they're having in certain people's chat rooms, the conversations that they're having in the comment sections, the conversations that they're having on Instagram, Facebook, all of these social media sites, these conversations are not draped. They're not anchored in power. You know what I'm saying? They're not initiating power. They're not draped. They're not covered in solutions. You know what I'm saying? They're not dipped in solutions. You know what I'm talking about? They're not dripping in solutions, my nigga. They're not drippy enough. The solutions are not dripping enough in these conversations that a lot of these motherfuckers out here are having. Whether you're a Hotep, whether you're a Nubian, whether you're a Hebrew Israelite, a Moor, whatever you claim and identify, a Pan-African, whatever you claim. And I'm not speaking about everybody. I'm just generalizing right now. This could be diamonds in the rough that are out there. There are a lot of people that are doing things. But I'm talking about overall, the majority, the masses. It's not functioning about, you know, we're not having the conversations that are befitting of the environments that I'm identifying. I just shared with you, woke is a marketplace. You have to be selling a product or a service in the marketplace. You should either become a vendor or a supporter of vendors in that marketplace. You should figure out, what the fuck can I sell? What can I commodify? What can I monetize? Not to sell to black people who are poor, because going back to what I was saying a few seconds ago, that, my friend, is poverty-minded consciousness. That, my friend, you don't know what you're talking about. I'm a small business. Our people have a lot of expendable ink. We are not poor. We are not poor, bro. We are far from poor. I've been in what is known as, or what has been considered, poor neighborhoods. Niggas got money out of motherfucking wazoo. They buy sneakers every day. 100 sneakers don't cost less than $100. These niggas walk around with 3 or 4 bags. So we're not poor. We're poverty minded. It's two different things. We're not poor. We're poverty minded, meaning that we don't have near skills when it comes to how to spend our money. We spend our money. We don't circulate it. When you spend something, you waste it. When you spend something, you lose it. When you circulate something, you share it. When you circulate something, it goes around and around. It goes around and around. You understand? That's what it does. And we don't circulate the dollar, or we don't circulate the Bitcoin, or we don't circulate the cryptocurrency, or we don't circulate the currency in the way and in a manner where it will empower us, where we see tangible results based off of the fact that we're building pyramids, or we're building up something investment wise, where the numbers go up. Like when you saw crowdfunding take place and then people's numbers rise quickly, sort of like what we saw with the Tulsa real estate thing, where every other day the brother was reporting, yo, we had 3 million, 4 million, 5 million, 9 million, 10 million. We can do this collectively if your conversations change, if your way of thinking change, if you approach things the way that they should be approached from a business standpoint. You understand? From a marketing standpoint, where are our people who have degrees in marketing, digital marketing, internet marketing? I'm giving you a call out. Please respond. Where are you? This is what's needed. We need people who know how to make commercials. We need people who know how to make ad campaigns. This is needed. We're the ad campaigns for consciousness inside of what is known as the woke market. That doesn't even exist right now. I'm just giving you game because right now I've identified about 5 voids. I'm not going to rewind the tape and point it out for you. That's your job. I just identified 5 voids that Anybody could come in and feel right now, and then you could see everything begin to change. Not in a microwavable way, not overnight for your satisfaction. You don't want to put in no work, you just want quick results. This shit is not microwavable, fam. You gotta motherfucking whip your wrist. You know what I'm talking about? You gotta flick your wrist. You gotta work your motherfucking elbow when you're inside of this community, when you're inside of any community. Wherever you go, my nigga, it's labor intense. That's the world that you live in right now. Labor intense. You might be smart and wise enough to think of $1 billion idea and slip through the motherfucking cracks and you could jump off of the hamster wheel. But even with that, niggas that are hitting the billies, they got $1 billion problems. You gotta whip your motherfucking wrist. This is about sweat equity. This is about hard labor. Don't identify with no pyramid builders if you niggas ain't not hard laborers. If you're not getting it in like the Mexicans on Lexington, you know what I'm talking about? I think them niggas built all the pyramids. You know what I'm talking about? Because they work harder than a lot of niggas. They some hard workers. And Trump is putting them in cages right now. That's what they get for all of that hard, cheap labor in America. They get put in dog kennels and cages, and their children get separated from them and possibly sold for their organs. That's how America pays them back. So peace, Bomani. Salute, King. So, you know, I'm not out here caping for nobody other than, you know what I'm saying, people that are caping for us. Salute to Mexico. Salute to the Mexicans who are riding with their brothers and whatnot. You know what I'm talking about? And hold it down and whatnot. Because I know that everybody is not at war. I don't identify like that. You know what I mean? I know that's not the case. You know what I'm saying? I put a post up earlier to correct anybody who was out there thinking that or buying into the propaganda that they're trying to sell you, that there's immigrants that are coming into America, right? America, because America is North America, Central America, South America, the Caribbean. So don't ever in your life fall for the propaganda that some motherfuckers are coming into America who already live in America, you know what I'm talking about? And they're increasing the crime rate. When we know that the biggest criminals who ever came into America with immigrant status were first and foremost the white Anglo-Saxon Protestant. Then following that, it was the English. Then directly behind that, it was the Italians. Then directly in front of all of them, it was the Ashkenazi Jew. And then you had also the admixture of the Spaniard. He played his part as well, and the French. And then you have the Irish, who came in as criminals, who came in as degenerates, who came in as bottom feeders, who came in as chimney cleaners, who came in as indentured servants, who came in as Slavs, which are slaves, which we could never be because we're not Slavs. How could you identify with something that's not talking about you? I'm not a Slav. My ancestors are not Slavs, my nigga. So we're not slave-like, and we could never be slaves. We could be prisoners of war. You know what I mean? We could be captives. We could be vassals of the state. You know what I mean? But we could never be slaves or Slavs. So, salute, Brother George Nunez. This Mexican is riding for you, Red Pillar. That's right. That's why I salute you, brother. You know what I mean? I have no problems whatsoever with you, my bro. You know what I mean? So, we can't be slaves. So, that's not us at all. You know what I mean? I know when they were talking about slavery in America, they were slaves of European descent. Facts. They enslaved their own the same way that they enslaved their own right now. The only difference is they enslaved their own through Big Pharma. They enslaved their own with the opiates right now. They're enslaving their own through the child welfare program, the child welfare system. They're enslaving their own through foster care. They're enslaving their own through the armed services. They're enslaving their own through vaccinations. They're enslaving their own through GMOs. They're enslaving their own by keeping their own dumbed down and miseducated the same way that they're miseducating these Negroes of today, that they were the fucking only people that were in chains, in bondage. They couldn't read. They was eating out of pig pens. No, nigga, that's half of redneck America, the South. Read the depictions, read the true stories of the Civil War. They will talk about white slaves, slaves who were butt naked, slaves who were barefoot, looking mangly, shirtless, pantsless, running around fighting for the motherfucking Confederates and whatnot. You know? That's right. So, you know, we have to be very mindful of the fact that, you know, during the Reconstruction, during the revisionist period, they did a lot of stuff to change a lot of things around. And as a result of that, man, it's bigger than religion. Like this miseducation or this distorted perception of who our people are based off of our historical disposition or our historical, you know, timeline in the Americas. The shit is totally off. The shit is total. Motherfuckers do not know what the fuck truly happened. Like I said, the biggest criminals on record coming into America that had immigrant status were the Italians, the Jews, the Irish, the motherfucking Dutch, okay, the French. They were the ones. You remember the Jews were you don't ever say that you're from a ghetto. They are the original ghettos. They come from the ghettos. These are the original ghetto boys. These are the original ghetto bastards. You are not from the ghetto. These people, so they embodied the ghetto. When they named what is known as ghettos, that was their settlements. So you niggas is like, oh, I'm in the hood, I'm in the ghetto. All right, cool. You stay there. You know what I'm talking about? Words cast spells. Words have power. Oh, I'm a slave. I'm a descendant of a slave. I'm a descendant of a slave. Slave this, slave that. We were slaves. Kanye is wrong. We were all slaves. Nigga. The fuck is wrong? You don't understand words and power? You don't understand word power with all of this teaching that been thrown around in the community? You missed that lecture, my nigga? You mean to tell me you missed that lecture? No. Prisoner of war. Vassal of state. I'm a vassal. I'm a converso. They converted us. You know what I mean? They converted our people under the threat of death to become Christians. Facts. You know what I'm saying? They put swords to your neck and converted you and baptized you and gave you European anglicized names. But the Italian mafia, the Jewish mafia, which rolls out of those hoods, which rolls out of those ghettos, and they committed murder upon murders upon murder. They got their hands bloody like these gangs do out here. They were out there during Prohibition. They were out there during the numbers game. They came into Harlem and terrorized Harlem. They brought dope into Harlem. That's what the gangsters and the thugs and the real immigrant criminals, the Italian mafia, the Black Hand, the Amoretti, they were responsible for that. Come on, fam. That wasn't something that Negroes were doing. They were just lackeys. You know what I mean? They were the lackeys. They got introduced to some of these things by these different races. Robber barons, bank robbers, kidnappers, all kind of shit. Turning into warmongers, drug pushers, drug peddlers, prohibition, liquor peddlers. You know what I mean? Organ trafficking, human trafficking, sex trafficking. So don't let them paint the picture of El Chapo and the rest of the Mexicans like these are the most, or the MS-13, like all of it. No, bruh. Don't fall for that shit. The destabilization that they did in Latin America through the CIA drug campaigns, like I spoke about earlier, not earlier, but in previous videos. When you get to the top of the ladder in that whole drug empire / narcos regime, it's conquistadors, it's blonde hairs, it's Diego and them. They blonde hair, blue eyes on the top. Don't ever get it fucked up. It's the conquistadors, it's the CIA, and it's a bunch of blonde hair, blue eyed Spaniards that are running it at the tippy top, the plug that you never see. So, no. We have to respect and applaud people who have come into America, and and you got black people like, oh, they stealing our jobs. Stealing what jobs? The fact that you niggas are still working jobs is a fucking travesty. You know what I'm saying? Somebody needs to steal your jobs. You've been in America and you don't own anything. You're not a boss. You're not bossed up. Nobody could steal your job if you're a boss. You could hire yourself, retire yourself, and fire yourself. That's the program that we should be running post civil rights. So if anybody want to come and do a menial job, you niggas is complaining because people have come to take your toilet cleaning jobs and your motherfucking mopping jobs in 2018, family. Look, get it together, bro. You know what I'm saying? Get it together. And like I said, a lot of that goes into the spells that people bought into. A lot of that goes into the false perception of who they are. A lot of that goes into the fact that they bought into that idea, or that was sold to them and marketed to them, that you niggas are menial, subservient, janitor, butlers. You niggas are the help. And niggas bought into that like they're sharecroppers and whatnot, not knowing that these motherfuckers are engineers, scientists. They're like George Washington Carver. They play with peanuts and the plants talk to them. You know what I'm talking about? Botanists. These niggas are botanists. These are engineers walking around these streets. You understand what I'm saying? These are scientists. I went to school with them. We was cutting open frogs at like 8 years old. And some of these dudes from, you know what I mean, some of my peoples that I went to school with, they already knew. They were very well versed in the biology and all of that stuff. Our people are geniuses, but we sell our intellectual property. We sell our sweat equity. We sell our labor to people for peanuts. You understand what I'm saying? We sell it to people for peanuts to provide a blanket of safety and comfort and protection inside of this unpredictable matrix, or this hamster wheel where everybody is running, chasing a fucking bill. You know what I'm saying? I live in New York. You niggas don't know what pressure is until you lived in New York and paid all of these bills and this rent and shit like that. Nigga, I am a vassal of the Hasidic Jews, who are the landlords who put New York City under siege. An economic siege was declared over New York City post 9/11. This is a siege, my nigga. Fuck is you saying? This is a siege. It's an economic siege. This is a soft war. Gentrification is a soft war. Like, they're not providing. The cost of living is going up. Rent is going up. The bills are going up. Milk is going up. Almond milk. You know what I'm saying? The MTA is going up. Gas is going up. The tickets are going up. Right? But nothing else is good. They're not going up with your pay rate. They're not going up with your per hour. You know, they're not going up. The people who are moving in, that have all of these resources, they're not sharing any kind of resources. So what you have is this waiting game. What you have is this clever game of pushing people out, you know what I'm saying, based off of the fact that they can't afford to function. They can't afford to hang. They can't afford to keep up. They have to get off of the hamster wheel and go into other hamster wheels, you know what I'm saying, down south and in the Midwest and on the West Coast, because New York is breaking people's backs. Facts. It's something called reverse migration taking place in New York. There's a mass exodus of people leaving New York because they can't afford this stuff. So shit real out here. It is real. And like I said, the money in the streets is non-existent. It is not there anymore. There used to be days where I could go home with a stack. There was days where, you know, the vendors who were out. There's no more DVD vendors in New York in Harlem anymore. It's only DVDs for $1. There's no more vendors out there. Like, I ain't gonna say no more. There's about 3 or 4 left. But I counted 24 years ago. 24 from river to river, selling all information, DVDs, books, and all of that. Now it's like 3 left. You know what I mean? There's no support. It's a lack of money out there. Like, I'll be lucky if I leave there with $100 sometimes. You know what I'm saying? That's the state of affairs in New York. And you know the Europeans that moved up there, they not supporting nothing. They don't want to shop. My clothing is too strong for them. My clothing is too ethnic and cultural, and I need to keep it like that. Like they're my litmus. You know what I'm saying? Like if they start running to buy my shit, I'm doing something wrong. Like they're my litmus. I know that I'm doing something right because the shit is like a kryptonite to them. You know what I'm talking about? It's a cracker repellent. Kings County is a cracker repellent. These stones and whatnot, shit like this, yeah, it's a cracker repellent. You know, you might have those who are not crackers. They just have a loss of melanin. You know what I mean? I call them the grays. There's people who are walking this earth. They're caught in between black and white. Motherfuckers is just gray. You know what I'm saying? They don't have no nationality. They just grays. They just in between both worlds. I could talk to them. You know, we could have a conversation. Hopefully a sale is at the end of that. But, you know, is it worth all of the bills? Is it worth all of the rent? Is it worth all of the stress? Because keep in mind, there's just a report that came out that spoke about the effect of the police killings, the effect of the lynchings that people are witnessing on social media, television, and the newspapers. So think about this triple whammy. You got people that are on social media all day, then they run home to watch TV, then they be reading the newspaper either at work, on the train, on the way to work, whatever. They're getting a double whammy of whatever this propaganda is to do what? To stress you out, to inflict some kind of mental strain on your brain. And what does stress do? Stress kills. What does stress do? Stress stagnates. What does stress do? Stress stagnates growth. So you have people who are stressed out. They're like, damn, they out here killing niggas. They killing babies and shit. Oh man, they done stabbed up a 15-year-old and macheted him to death. And I watched it. Oh, they done shot XXX Tentacion in his neck. And he's in his car dead. And I'm looping it, watching it. Well, they're saying that when you do that, it's deteriorating the mental health of a large contingency of melanated people. And we spoke about this. We have a Blog Talk Radio episode entitled The Trayvon Factor 1, 2, and 3. The Trayvon Factor 1, 2, and 3. And that's on Blog Talk Radio. That is a podcast that was done in the years of 2013 all the way up into 2014. And it was featuring Red Pill, Blue Pill, and a few, I think, Ra Aku, and a few other teachers. And we were combing through the Trayvon Martin ritual, not the case, the ritual, with a fine-tooth comb. And we were exposing the fact that they utilized that ritual at the All-Star game in Orlando Magic, at the All-Star game in February of the calendar year of 2012, when the world was supposed to end. In December of 2012, the world was supposed to end. People were waiting for the world to end. They were so anxious for the world to end. Everybody was talking about preparing their last meal in case the world would end, right? But they gave us Trayvon. And that broke the internet, and that consumed our whole year. People were in their hearts. People were in their minds, meaning that we were feeling for him in our hearts. And we were stressed out, and we were hoping that we could receive justice in our minds. And we didn't get that. And not only did we not get that, but that case, because I shared with you before that Zimmerman was not on trial. You would be retarded to think that they had Zimmerman on trial. He wasn't on trial. Trayvon Martin wasn't necessarily on trial because Trayvon Martin was deceased. The image and the archetype of Trayvon Martin, now that was on trial. You know what I'm talking about? Like, yeah, nigga, that was on the motherfucking hot seat. His image, remember, they were focusing on his image, his bottom fronts. Remember Trayvon from Florida, right? His bottom fronts. The fact that he had his middle finger up in pictures, you know what I'm talking about? He listened to hip hop. They said he smoked marijuana, but he looked like every good kid that we identify with. You know, the little kids you would give $1 to and rub their head and be like, yo, make sure you don't ever get caught up in the street shit. Because if I see you in the streets, I'm going to tell your mama he was one of those kids. So his murder, his sacrifice, his lynching, because he got lynched, that affected us. And when they acquitted Zimmerman and basically said subtly, because these are dog whistles that these Europeans blow through their court cases. You know, they've been doing that from the 1700s. This is how they communicate. This is how they set standards. This is how they set their precedents. This is how purges occur. So from that case on, that archetype or that phenotype or that image of the black hooded child, right? The black hooded child, you know what I'm saying? That image or that archetype has been under direct assault, viciously. All the way up into, you know, not just a young black child, but why not start the war on a child? The parents are going to, you know what I mean? It doesn't matter. You destroy the children, you destroy the parents. You destroy the parents, you destroy the children. So it's a multi-pronged attack on the archetype, the black male archetype, the black female archetype. You understand? The black child, the black father, and the black mother. Okay? With all kind of purge, purge. It's all kind of purge indicators popping up. So fast forward all the way to where we find ourselves today. All the way down this line of all of this murder. The Freddie Gray murder. The Philandro Castile murder. The Alton Sterling murder. The Eric Garner I Cannot Breathe murder. The Chandra Bland murder, choking her to death. The Corey Gaines murder. The shooting of the man in South Carolina in broad daylight, clapping him in his back. And then planting the gun in broad daylight and then being, oh, did he get convicted or did he get acquitted? That murder. The Dylan Roof massacre of the Senator Pinckney, right? The brother who was a senator. Maybe he wasn't a senator, but he was in government. He was like a representative or something. And so he got murdered by Dylan Roof, along with 8 other church members, grandmothers, and all of that. All of these. And him being taken to McDonald's when they accosted him. Right? All of these attacks on melanin. All of these because Mike Brown, which is the Trayvon twin. Mike Brown in Ferguson, Trayvon in Stanford, Florida. These were cherry-picked. These incidents were cherry-picked. The Mike Brown incident not only was cherry-picked, but George Soros bought a 48-hour news block. He bought a 48-hour news block and he introduced the world to woke, the woke marketplace via or through or vicariously through Black Lives Matter. But the woke marketplace existing alongside something that was more tangible, something that was more real, something that's more anchored, something that has history, something that's grounded. This woke shit is not grounded. Consciousness is grounded. Consciousness has elders. Consciousness has history. Consciousness has the nation. Consciousness has hundreds of years of history in the black community. Consciousness has authors. Hundreds of authors have identified Dr. Ben. You know what I'm talking about? Ivan Van Sertima, Dr. Phil, Professor Griff, Black Dot, A.A. Rashid, Hakeem Bey. I'm talking about authors. These are people with multiple tomes. These are people with multiple literatures. Our good brother, Dr. York, with all of his books. So inside of consciousness, there's a history. There's elders that are still alive. There's even DVD series like Hidden Colors and things like Urban Elementary. So what the fuck? We don't got nothing coming out. What's in the woke? What came from woke? What came from woke? I can identify when we begin to see them. I can identify where they had their rise. I can identify their inception, and their inception was during the Ferguson riots. There was a 48-hour news block that was purchased by George Soros and his committee, and in that 48-hour news cycle, you were introduced to the members or some of the characters who compromise what are known as Black Lives Matter. And it was said by Darren Sills, rest in peace, and it was also said by individuals who were on the ground out there, how when the LBGT segment of our nation or our community interjected under the guise or under the banner of Black Lives Matter, they said that's when everything began compromise. Because like I said before, if you're not sexually, if you have no self-mastery, if you're not sexually disciplined, then you're a slave to your lower self. And Europeans, who are the king, they're the masters of that universe. Nigga, that's their shit. You know what I'm talking about? That's their shit. So if you fall in that category, then you're one of their soldiers. You're marching in their army. Like they had Pride Week the other day in New York City, and everybody came out. You're marching to a Greco-Roman drum. You're their standing army. You're not an African standing army. You don't stand for life. You don't stand for consciousness. You stand for the woke shit. You're in the woke marketplace. But you're not necessarily standing pro-life. You're not standing for straight black pride. You're not standing for the heterosexuals. You're not standing for the reverse of eugenics. You know what I mean? More life. You're not standing for more life. You're standing with Greco-Romans. You're standing with white liberal Jews who've been fooling and tricking our people since time immemorial. They're called the useless eaters. They're called the useful idiots. That's called the left and the right. But they're wings of a same bird, because when it comes time to vote for Hillary, you niggas is so politically science majored. But when it comes time to get rocked to sleep with these agendas, these Planned Parenthood eugenic agendas that they're having, species terminus agendas, where they're basically they're Thanos snapping and clipping half of our population by convincing them and manipulating through chromosomes, manipulating through the foods, manipulating through the water, manipulating through the BPA, manipulating them through all means, manipulating through social programming and social engineering, manipulating them through the music, manipulating through the frequencies and the tones, manipulating them through the GMOs, through the vaccinations, manipulating through all kind of sexual abuse that are taking place inside the schools, that are taking place inside of foster homes, that are taking place inside the church, that are taking place inside of all institutions that are run by Europeans and Negropeans and people who have been compromised through all kind of fraternal activities, Boule fraternities, Greek fraternity activities, where they were compromised way down the line. So they function as sexual slaves. They function as the people who feed the innocent to these demons, to these beasts who actually eat people in real life. Spirit cookers. Remember, it's been a long time since you heard about that, my nigga. Spirit cookers. These niggas are the boule. They're the minions. Remember Despicable Me? Huh? You know the little yellow niggas? They're the minions of these motherfucking grooves that are running them around. Okay, so these white liberals that, remember, white liberal gay Jews run New York City. White liberal LBGTs run New York. Don't ever get it fucked up. No Republicans, white, Democratic, I don't even like using the word white. Zionist, Sephardic and Ashkenazi and Hasidic people who practice Judaism, right? From Eastern Europe, Western Europe, right? They're the ones who control the politics, the billions and trillions of dollars, policies, policy enforcers, the court system, the legal system, the food system. All of these systems, they are in the educational, the deducational system, the hospital system, the prison system, you know what I'm saying? The film industry, the music industry are all run by small hats. Don't get it fucked up. And niggas with Goldilocks, the Goldie, they're acidics, and this is New York. This is their playground. Okay? You wanna get on like Barack Obama got on? He gotta come here and sit on many laps and play around in their playground. Hillary, all of them. If you want to get on, Black Lives Matter, come in New York and come and sit on these niggas' laps in closed door, closed room facilities. Secret spaces. You know what I'm talking about? That's how they do it. They got it in Chicago, they got it in San Francisco, they got it in Atlanta, they got it in New York, they got it in Boston. They damn sure got it in the weird ass California, Hollywood in the mountains. It's a network. It's a network. They got it in Arizona. They got it in up there in Wyoming and other places. You know what I'm talking about? They got them spread out. And that's a fact. So you just have to be very aware of that. You have to be very conscious of that. You have to know who's your ally and who's not your ally. You have to know who's riding for you and who's not riding for you. You got to know who's just pandering to your niggas is pandering to your plight. They're pandering to your hate. They're pandering to your fear. They're pandering to your sorrow. Oh, we feel bad. Oh my goodness. Oh, we feel bad about you getting shot in the streets. Oh, that's so bad. No, they don't really feel bad about that shit. Low key. You know what I mean? Low key, there's a war taking place. And going back to what I've said on previous episodes, they want to eradicate niggas. I sometimes want niggas to be eradicated. So I understand what they mean by that. Because if you ever wanted to test your faith, if you ever wanted to test your compassion and your empathy for humanity, get off on a train on Lexington and 125th any time of the day while the sun is out. Get off on a train on Lexington and 125, and you will be able to test your compassion, because that's a motherfucking zombie stronghold. That's a dope fiend zombie. The heroin, I get the heroin shit is super high over there. That's a dope fiend stronghold. That's some demonic. These niggas, they look like demons over there, bro. They look like demons. I'm talking about. I don't know what the opiate plant brings out of people. It might bring something bad out of people. You know what I mean? Because, you know, niggas got all kind of stuff inside of them. But I think the opium plant, the poppy seeds, it just brings out some shit that was already inside of you. Because them niggas be looking demonic, bro. They be looking real monster-like. So if you could walk through that sea of death, if you could walk through that sea of zombies, that sea of motherfuckers vibrating on frequencies of a roach, then you a good human. You know what I'm saying? You good. Your heart is light. Me, I walk through there on my Thanos shit. I just be wanting to snap and make them niggas completely disappear. I don't got no compassion for that shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm not empathetic towards that plight right there. Not right now. Not in the middle of, not when I identified the fucking war that's taking place, because somebody said this earlier. Niggas is suicidal. They be running around all suicidal and shit, but they ain't suicidal bombers. You know what I'm saying? They not that suicidal. So you could miss me with all that crazy shit you niggas be trying to act like you on Therazine and you all cuckoo and whatnot. Nigga, you're not that cuckoo. You know what I'm saying? You're not that cuckoo. You ain't put in no work, nigga. You ain't that dumb. You ain't that crazy. You're not that high. You motherfuckers get sane and you become real sober when it comes time to do some real shit. So miss me with the bullshit. Like I said, I'm not with saving no zombies. Like, I'm not, that's just, my shit extends to a certain length. You know what I mean? Like, my compassion, that shit has a height limit. You know what I mean? My shit, you know what I'm saying? My compassion is midget-like. You know what I mean? It's not that tall. It doesn't go that far. You know what I mean? So, motherfuckers that are running around wasting their life, well, we have use for them, but not in the sense that you might think. You know what I'm saying? We got use for them, though. They're useful, but not in the sense that you might think. You know? I mean, what the fuck? That's just, to me, it's like, damn, bro. You just completely, that's slow suicide. It hurts to look at. You want to slowly destroy yourself. You so beat down and downtrodden. This European or this society or this system has broken you into so many pieces that you don't even have any kind of cares in the world anymore. There's people that are out there deteriorating and they don't care who sees them. That kind of hurts me sometimes. I just think about, like, when the compassion does kick in, I start thinking about what the fuck went wrong. Like, what was the turning point? Usually it's the drugs or the pharmacopoeia. You know what I mean? Usually it's the fact that certain people didn't turn on the creative aspect of their minds to pull themselves out of poverty. Nigga, I wrote myself out of poverty. You know what I'm saying? I thought myself out of poverty. I fought myself out of poverty. You know what I mean? I thought myself out of poverty with my mind, with my brain, with my mother, with the shit right between my ears. I thought my way out of every situation that I've ever been in. There ain't nobody that came and helped me, that flew down from the sky, nigga. The sky didn't crack and Jesus came on a white horse and paid my bills for me, nigga. No. I thought I had to utilize intellectual property. When I'm designing these clothes, nigga, that's a thought process. You know what I'm saying? When I'm in the studio making this music, nigga, that's a thought process. My bars is thoughtful. You know what I mean? I'm just not in there mumbling and whatnot. When Blue Pill had to come up with the formula to make liquid gold, nigga, that's a thought process. That's intellectual property. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm utilizing my mind. I'm utilizing intellectual property. I'm utilizing my thought process to get me out of poverty, to get me out of the bottom. You know what I mean? To get me out of being a statistic. So my question would be, what the fuck is stopping these niggas that are out here leaning on dope, they fucking nose is touching the concrete out there on 125th in Lexington? Like I said, it's dope fiend fucking alley out there. It's like, it's a dope fiend. The shit is like a dope fiend stadium. You know what I'm talking about? You know what I mean? It's like dope fiend summer jam every day out there. You know what I mean? Dope fiend summer jam. And the shit looks disgusting. And to make matters worse, right up the block is the Metro North. So every day, boatloads of Europeans from upstate New York and all over New York get off the train to go into Manhattan. Some of these people are lawyers and legal aids, teachers. They people who got to deal with niggas all day. So the first thing that you see when you get off the train in New York is dead niggas. And you go into the job to go deal with some niggas. So you already have a preconceived notion that there's a disgust for niggas, all things nigga. And then you might these crackers go to work dedicated because they're reminded every day with this eyesore. They're reminded to continue to keep their foot on the gas to destroy your livelihood, your happiness, your come up. Like the lady who called the popo on an 8-year-old girl. You're witnessing what is known and what I defined and what I've read to you as white fragility. You know what I'm saying? You saw her on TV today crying, talking about she's losing everything. What's her name? What's her name? Petty Patty or something. You know what I'm talking about? She called, this white lady called the police on an 8-year-old girl who was selling water in front of her residence and said that she didn't have a permit. This European lady, though, happens to be a legal weed dispenser. How ironic is that? That the same person who belongs to an industry that has resurrected off of the backs and the bones of black men and Latin men and women who are incarcerated in the millions for selling the same plant or the same crop. These motherfuckers close the doors and lock niggas out and have monopolized the marijuana industry. They making marijuana wine, permit patty. They making marijuana wine. They're making butters. They're making soaps. These niggas making marijuana towels. You know what I mean? Anything, everything but weed. They're enterprising. She belongs to that industry. She belongs to that industry. So it should be no surprise for anybody to see that she's calling a popo on an 8-year-old girl trying to sell water. Because once they lock the weed down, Now they coming for the water. After the water, they coming for the air. After the air, you know what I'm talking about? They want everything. They don't want to see any of us coming up. They'll stand with you and cry with you and march with you and victim with you and do all of those things and eat on you and suckle you and do all of that stupid shit. But when it comes time to help you get money, when it comes time to patronize you, when it comes time to mind their fucking business, they're not trying to do that. They want to call the popo because they've been watching TV the same way that you've been watching. And if watching black people die is causing post-traumatic stress disorder in black people, watching black people die has been making white people even happier. It's reversing their mortality rate because you know that they're dying at a very fast pace right now. But now that they're broadcasting Black Death, these white people is like, well, goddamn it, I don't think I want to drink myself to death. I don't think I want to dope fiend myself to death. I don't think I want to hang myself today. I'm going to stick around and watch these niggas die. Because what's better than Black Death to a white person? You know what I'm talking about? It makes them feel comfortable. It makes them feel like something is working in effect because they know the white people are dying. So they need to at least die knowing that, yo, these niggas are dying with you. Don't, you know, we're gonna send these niggas with you. Like, you're not just dying alone. You know what I'm talking about? Don't worry, white people. Your mortality rate, because there are 17 to 18 states in America. I speak about this in Fear of a Black and More Messiah lecture series. By the way, which is coming to Norfolk and Baltimore in August, at the end of August. 17 to 18 states. They have more people dying that are of the European phenotype and the European race than are being born. So they're negative. They're going into what is known as the negative birth rate. This negative birth rate somehow, some way, was predicted by Elijah Muhammad a long time ago. How did he know this? Was he looking at the records? How did Elijah Muhammad notice in the 60s that these niggas were going to have a negative birth rate? Was he in a hospital with them? You know what I'm talking about? What did he know? Obviously, he knew something because he's dead fucking on. Because they're dying faster than they're being born. Shit. Negroes don't get happy because your pride numbers is real fucking heavy. Y'all dying too. Your numbers is diminishing too. So don't get happy. Don't get Negro happy because y'all falling into the same pot because you becoming just like him. You're doing his activities. You're sexually deviant like him now. Facts. You're sexually deviant just like him. And look, the power of the mind or the power of programming the subconscious mind is either you or them. Look, man, nigga. Either you're going to sit in front of the TV screen every day and entertain Black Death, or you niggas is going to get in the room and light some candles and focus on some white death. You know what I'm talking about? Nature is taking its course. I didn't say it. Nature is taking its course. So I'm about reality. I'm about focusing on realism. I'm a realist. So reality is telling you, nigga, white people is dying mad fast. That's the reality. So I'm going to focus on that reality, and that's what I'm going to be looking at while I try to come up with some solutions to stop that. See, I'm being a humanitarian. I'm being nice. I'm not going to be focusing no more on Black Death, though. I'm not giving that my energy. I'm not giving that my power. I'm not giving that my mental motherfucking, my mental energy. I'm not doing that. I'll be focusing on life. I'm not even going to be focusing on white death because that's some shit that they going through and that's some shit that they got to live with. And that's something that to me is their universal karma. So you niggas can cry me a river if you got white friends that are, you know what I mean, that you don't want to leave so fast on a Thanos snap and you don't want them to turn into dust like Thanos snapped his finger. Then, hey, stick around. You know what I mean? Go and catch some Netflix and chills with them. I'm not speeding up their death. I'm focusing on life. I'm focusing on my children. I'm focusing on making more children. You know what I'm saying? I'm focusing on these babies who need our protection. I'm focusing on these babies whose hearts are hurting right now because they have rap stars that are being killed in broad daylight, and they're hurting and they're crying. You know how many parents call me up to thank me for doing a video about XXX-Tentacion? Because they had no idea who he was, but when they came home, their children were crying and they didn't know why and they didn't know what to say to them. But thanks to the video, they had a little bit of insight. They did a little bit of research and they could relate, because there's nothing better than relate to your child, because sometimes your children might feel that you're outdated. And if you're banging on an artist, because keep in mind, some of these parents hate these artists because the artist is raising the motherfucking children. Keep that in mind. You got parents that just blatantly be like, oh, who is that? I don't like that person. That person is trash. Because your child loves the artist and they don't love you. Or they don't treat you like they treat these artists that they worship. But you know, that's some teeny bopper shit. You went through that. You was treating Belle Biv DeVoe and, you know what I'm talking about, Adina Howard better than you was treating mama. You know what I'm talking about? You can't necessarily blame that on these children. They're caught up in the cult of personality worship. They grew up in a quote unquote, this shit wasn't as heavy as it was when we were children. We grew up around superstars, pop stars, Michael Jackson, Prince, Luther Vandross, pause. You know what I mean? We grew up Whitney Houston. We grew up around stars, like, you know, big stars. And we were a little starstruck. You know what I mean? But we didn't have social media. We wasn't following these people. You know what I mean? Like, niggas that I went to school with wasn't trying to look like Michael Jackson. They might try to bust out a few moves, but too many people couldn't get away with the, you know what I'm saying? With the Michael Jackson hairdo and whatnot. You know what I mean? A few niggas had high waters, but it wasn't an epidemic. So these children these days, because of the social media, because they got the Snap, they following the artists on the Snap, then they on Instagram, then they on Twitter, then they doing regular videos on WorldStar. Nigga, that's a lot of you're doing a lot of engagement with an individual. That's a lot of activity. So these children are worshiping artists and whatnot. But then when the parents don't understand that, they like, yo, they start hating on the artist, and that doesn't sit well with the children, because the children is like, oh, this nigga's hating on my favorite artist, because they don't understand the artist, because the artist has face tats, and the parent is acting all fucking, you know what I mean, all boule and bougie, like, oh, I don't listen to niggas with face tats. Well, that didn't stop you from watching Mike Tyson fight. That nigga was one of the first niggas with a face tat. What the fuck are you talking about? Like, that's not something, you know, they ODing. I think the youth of today is completely ODing with it. But I understand what they're doing. Like, I get it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not mad at them. The generation that comes after them, they're going to be doing something even more severe. Niggas might just cut limbs off. Like, yo, I don't got an ear. You know what I mean? Like, I took my ear off. You know what I mean? I got mad tats where my ear used to be. I'm hard. I don't know. The shit crazy. You know what I mean? Like, some of these artists, they look crazy. They act crazy. Trippy red looking niggas. But at the end of the day, our children or the youth, they gravitate towards certain, not all of them, because a lot of them are toxic. I'm the big bro. I'm the big homie. I'll let you know who's a cancer. I'll let you know who's toxic. I'll let you know who's a op. I'll let you know who to completely don't let your child listen to, based off of the research that I do in the music industry and stuff like that. And, you know, a few of them are like that. But that's not who we're talking about right now. We're talking about the young man who got murdered and whatnot, and the parents who wanted to thank me for pouring my heart out. Because, yo, that wasn't easy, bro. Shit, nigga, I was pouring my heart out. I'm not a crying type. I don't get on film crying and whatnot. Like, that's not my MO. I don't do it like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I don't even know how I don't cry. Like, I've cried so much. You know what I mean? Like, that part of me is not really activated. know what I mean? Like, that's calcified. My crying ducts are kind of calcified. But nigga, I'll break a tear. Don't, you know what I mean? Don't sleep, nigga. I'll get on my boohoo in a minute sometimes. But, you know, that whole situation last Monday kind of hurt me, bro. That I'm gonna keep it a buck. That touched me. And then when I saw Junior get killed in the Bronx, that touched me. And, you know, a lot of this, you know what I mean? Like, there's an energy. Like, did you see the video where the candles fell on their own in the Bronx? The story that I'm talking about is the 15-year-old Dominican young man named Junior, and he got hacked to death with machetes and stabbed up by 5 individuals who were older than him, who wrongfully identified him as an assailant towards their little sister. One of the attackers' little sister had got a sex tape leaked because, you know, the little kids these days, you know, they on a porn shit. You know what I mean? They blowing backs out and they filming it and they upload it to Pornhub or they upload it to whatever site, you know, will let them, you know what I mean, or receives pornography. So apparently one of the little thotties got her back blown out and the video leaked. So her brothers and them got upset and then they hopped into the vehicle. I think they were gang members. They hopped into the vehicle and then they dragged this kid out of a bodega. Now the bodega didn't intervene. They saw these niggas dragging him out. They kind of like made him leave. Like, come on, go, come on, get out, go, go, go. And the minute they got the young man outside the store, they commenced to chopping him with machetes, similar to what they do in Dominican Republic and in African, Haiti and other places. Like, they chop you and shit with the machetes. And then they was juking them with the knife. Then they have a video where he goes run back into the store and then he comes outside. But this is the video that broke me. And I did a video with Rich talking about media manipulation and why we should be watching these videos from an observer point of view, not as a person. You can't wear your heart on your sleeve on the internet. You can't put your heart and your mind into every fucking thing that you're seeing because it's going to traumatize you. You have to practice the art of being an observer, like an owl on a branch. You have to practice the art of observing everything like you observe the movies, because this is a movie. So the video that really stuck with me is, I've seen somebody get shot before. I've seen somebody get stabbed to where they were so bewildered afterward that, you know, they were like, they didn't know they were in shock. He was in shock. He didn't know what he was. I think shit was turning black around him because he came running out the store and he was completely in shock. And his spirit left this realm, but he doesn't know that he died, family. That's what you saw with the candles. There's a video of his candlelight vigil, and there's an energy. He's knocking down his spirit is knocking down the candles. It's not candles that are falling on their own, because they got it. There's a candle over there that falls. Then there's a candle all the way on the other side that starts falling. It's not a domino thing. They're not falling downward. You know how dominoes, they will fall like this? The candles are falling this way. All of them are falling out this way. His spirit is upset. All of the Babalap, this little dude is Dominican, so where's the magic workers got to get his spirit? They have to free him, because he has the power to haunt the whole Bronx. There's been 44 killings in the Bronx since the summer started. It's a little lit out here. Like, these young niggas is on a gang shit. Like I said, the little nigga Tekashi 6ix9ine, he has stirred up a very demonic, a very killer, a very a bloodthirsty energy. That little nigga, I'm putting everything on that little nigga with the jigsaw fucking chain. Tekashi 6ix9ine, the XXXTentacion, all of that energy. Rich the Kid getting his ass whooped and beat and robbed. A lot of that energy is behind the shit that happened in Chirac with Tekashi. He's stirring up an energy, and that energy is here in New York, and these little gang member niggas are starting to kill over the summer. These little niggas are starting to kill. So, you know, we got to be on point. You know what I mean? And we got to be able to intervene and speak life into some of these youth and whatnot and try to dissipate, because it's an energy. Energy comes and goes. Energy is just moving and whatnot. The energy could dissipate quickly. I'm speaking about it right now in these days and times, that it's a little, you could feel it in the air. It's a little tense out there. So Junior has the ability to haunt the whole Bronx and really turn shit up this summer. Really have some motherfucking shit popping. So, you know, the spiritualists got to do the work and clear up the energy, because there's a strong energy and I feel it. You know what I mean? He's captured the hearts and minds of millions of people. People are really fucked up over that. So these youth dying, man, I'm not with that, man. These youth, you know, I don't think that that's the move right there. You know what I mean? I don't give a fuck what you spiritualists think what the plan is, that the youth's supposed to die because they're not tied into the earth and it's Aquarian. And I hear you, man. I hear you morbid ass niggas with your talking and all that, but I'm not feeling that. You know what I mean? No parent should bury their child for, you know what I'm saying? Like, fuck out of here. And they dying for nothing. Meaningless. You're not even a legend. You know what I mean? Like I said, XXX he's an exception because he did it right. He immortalized himself before he got out. He definitely did. You know what I mean? He gave niggas a one-on-one on how to be a living legend. You know what I'm saying? He showed these niggas, if you want to immortalize yourself and be a motherfucking star amongst the stars, there's a way to do it. But he's rare. He's an exception. He's an exception. If he didn't have that brain, if he didn't have that sharp mind, if he wasn't sharp, if he wasn't evolving, he would have just been another rapper that died. Because a lot of them niggas die and nobody breaks the internet. No, they're not breaking the internet. Niggas ain't breaking the internet a whole week. They wasn't even talking about Jay-Z and Beyonce album. That you couldn't get no spins. Nothing was moving last week. Not a thing. That you couldn't, no stories was breaking. Nothing was growing legs. They even had Mexicans in cages. Like that shit. The Mexican babies in the cages. Junior dying in the Bronx. And XXX dying in Florida. All youth, all children, all youth energy. That was the topic of motherfucking discussion. That was on the hearts and the minds of a lot of people collectively. I'm speaking about the collective because, you know, some of you niggas is like, nigga, I don't listen to that. I don't care about that. I was focusing on my Forex trading. I was focusing on my melanin that's popping. I'm not talking to you. I'm talking about the masses. I'm talking about millions upon millions, my nigga. I'm talking about the collective. Fuck is you saying? Like, stop being so ignorant. Stop being so selfish. I'm talking about the culture. Nigga, the culture's affected. The culture. So that's why this summer's got to be about intervention. The summer's going to have to be about nation building. The summer's going to have to be about solutions. The summer's going to have to be about Facts 2020. The summer's going to have to be about the conscious industry. If God willing, I'm going to pour solutions from the core of my being. I'm going to tsunami this shit, tsunami surf this motherfucking community with solutions. I'm going to pour light into these dark corners because that's all I can give. That's all I have. I don't have anything else for you niggas. Like, that's what I have. I'm gonna pour my artwork, my creativity, my music. You know what I mean? All of that. But that's my mission because, you know, I have to transmute this pain. I have to transmute this pain. I gotta transmute this, some of this, you know what I mean? I gotta transmute it because it's in me. It's with me, bro. You know what I'm saying? I'll be lying to you if I told you that this shit is not in me right now. I got pain, bro. I have pain. My shit hurts. My heart is hurting. You know what I mean? And it's not because of one individual, and it's not because people are dying that are young and whatnot. You know, it's the summer. You know what I mean? It's just the summertime, and you know, shit ain't what it's supposed to be. And I have to look at my people deteriorating every day. I had to look at hundreds of people walk by me yesterday with rainbow flags, you know what I'm saying, with clear mental disorders, while all of the corporations pander to these people with mental disorders and trauma. What ties all of those people together to be at them parades? Trauma. A lot of them got traumatized. Why nobody want to talk about that? Why nobody deal with that? Why all of these corporations is making all of these fake ass fans and whatnot and flyers and changing their colors and whatnot? They don't deal with the aspect that these motherfuckers, nigga, I'm looking at trauma. I'm looking at trauma. I'm looking at pain. And yeah, they cover it with that love thing. Yeah, it's love. This is love. Yeah, but we got to deal with the trauma in our communities, man. Mental health is deteriorating. Mental health is deteriorating. I don't give a fuck. If niggas is walking by me with beards and whatnot, with high heels on and rainbow tutus and whatnot, nigga, that's mental health, man. Y'all not gonna fool with me, bro. You're not gonna fool my mind. You're not gonna convince me to accept the abnormalities that you niggas are pushing as normalities. I'm not normalizing this society that I belong to. I'm just not. Maybe I'm not ready. Maybe I'm not built for this world. You know what I'm saying? Like maybe I'm the square peg in this circle that you niggas are building. You know what I mean? Maybe I'm the square peg, but I just don't fit in this society. I don't fit in this reality. I don't fit in this motherfucking simulation. You know what I mean? So we have to create a fit. We got to create a motherfucking comfort zone. We have to create somewhere where we could function in a healthy manner with healthy people doing healthy things and focus on wealthy things. That's where my mind is. That's where my mind is. Where are the women who like men? You know what I'm saying? Please identify yourself. Like, please raise your fucking hand. Where are the women who are not willing to coddle and who are not willing to accept people with mental disorders? Because you talk crazy about heterosexual men with mental disorders. You talk crazy about these niggas out here shaking cups. You talk crazy about your ex-boyfriend and your boo. You know what I mean? But you don't want to talk crazy about these other niggas looking super crazy and got our people looking mad crazy and all effeminate and subservient. I was watching white people laugh at niggas all day in Harlem. White people, you niggas are the circus to white people. I just want to make that clear. You motherfuckers are the circus. All of y'all running around trying to be Greco-Romans. You are the circus to the people who created this. This is they shit. They you know what I mean? Like this they shit. They run that shit. They created that shit. This they culture. So once again, you couldn't just be comfortable with the blonde hair and the blue-eye contacts. You took it all the way and you became sexual deviants just like them. You didn't want to just look like them. You want to fuck like them. You know what I'm talking about? You want to walk in and talk it like them. You wanted to go into their bedrooms and sneak into their rooms and figure out what was going on. You know what I'm saying? With all of that masochist, that dominatrix shit that they be doing. You know, and to each his own. Because we're here for experiences. So your experience might have been, you know, to entertain that. And I hate that I have to cover this so much when I talk about it. But, you know, I'm a reporter. I'm a correspondent of the culture. I'm here to timestamp and to categorize what is going on. So when these broadcasts or when these transmissions are heard 20, 30, 40, 100 years from now, that you understand what the fuck the conditions of our people were. Nobody lied to you. You know what I mean? So nobody lies to you because they're going to lie to you. They're lying to you now. They're going to lie to you. They're going to fool you. They're going to spread falsehoods. They're going to pull the cover over your motherfucking eyes. You know what I'm talking about? And I'm not here for that. Not here for that. So, you know, as a result of that and other things, I got shit that I need to do. It's getting late. You know what I'm talking about? We're going to wrap this Melanin Mondays up. Just trying to see if I covered what I said I was going to cover. I don't know. I'm hoping that I covered everything. You know. Sending love and light to Joe Jackson. I thought that he made transition. They said that was an internet hoax. But he's on his deathbed. I saw him in Harlem about a year ago. he was running, he was like speeding towards the Apollo, and I didn't want to get on no fan shit and I didn't want to get on no stand shit and chase him down with a camera phone, because I be thinking that's real corny and whatnot, because he wasn't taking no pictures, he was just moving and whatnot. So today is Michael Jackson's day of ascension. You know, Michael Jackson, Prodigy, XXXTentacion, they all died around the same times. You know, I don't know if they have similar energies, but you know, they're all complicated artists. You know, Prodigy, he was a complicated child artist. Michael Jackson was a child artist. XXX is a child artist. You know, they were all misunderstood. You know, even Prodigy got exposed on a Summer Jam screen by Jay-Z for being like Michael Jackson. Remember the ballerina and whatnot? He was a Michael Jackson impersonator. He used to dance like Michael Jackson when he was little. I think XXXTentacion was a Michael Jackson impersonator. You know what I mean? Even his whole energy tells me that he was one of those Michaelites. You know what I'm saying? Who believed in Michael, who saw Michael as a saint. You know what I mean? Who saw him as otherworldly and whatnot, godlike. You know what I mean? A lot of the youth, the young ones, the crystal, they see MJ as godlike, angelic. You know what I mean? So it's just similarities. You know, I'm not getting all, because niggas get all in their feelings when you start comparing people who they worshiping and, you know what I mean, who they Jesusing and whatnot. So I'm gonna refrain from all of that. I'm gonna just say that it's just ironic and it's interesting that Michael Jackson's death gate, this time of the year in the summer, this death gate is always open ever since he opened it up. You know what I mean? It's been, you know, every other year we've lost someone major. Last year, about 2 days ago, we lost Prodigy. This year we lost XXXTentacion, who's about to have a memorial in Panther Stadium. It's gonna show you niggas how powerful he was. You know what I'm saying? He's gonna show you niggas what he was about. Nigga, he's having a memorial in a stadium. Fucking legend. Like, when I make my transition, that is one of my requests. Put me in a stadium, because I said it before. If the videos are doing 50,000, 70,000, 100,000, and stadiums fit 50,000, well, you niggas are gonna come out and see me on my last day, ain't you? You know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm saying? So pull up to the stadium as well to see Red Pillar, regardless of when it goes down. You know what I'm saying? But he's a legend for that. His parents are legends for that. I have more respect for that young man this week than I had for him last week, because I was able to listen to more videos. I saw that he bought 4 houses for his mother, his grandmother, his auntie, his uncle. You know, I love that shit. You know what I mean? That's peace to me. And like I said, he did make his transition. He did get his wings. You know what I'm talking about? Study. Are they really dead? Come on, fam. Everybody dies, man. If they're not dead now, they're gonna die one day. So what does it matter? You know what I mean? Everybody has a date. Your music and your craft and your art and your reputation is immortalized. But the flesh is dying, bro. The flesh dies. So if they fake their death at one point, nigga, they're gonna die one day. So we're just gonna memorialize them on their fake death day, if that's the case. You know what I'm talking about? Still in all, if that's the day that they wanted you to think that they died, nigga, they're dead. That's the day that they died. That's how we work it in this world right here. Where if you fake it to make it, you could also fake it to bake it, or fake it to wake it. You know what I mean? You fake it to make it, nigga, you could fake it to wake it. I think that you could do that. But in those cases, in this case, I think that my spirit told me that he's not here. My spirit told me he made transition. So I listened to my spirit. My spirit, the way that my spirit felt down, the way that he affected the whole world. That nigga had grown people crying who didn't even like him, who didn't even listen to Jess Hilarious. What's her name? Jess Hilarious. She said she used to talk bad about him, and she was bawling and crying on a video. Our spirits collectively told us that he was gone. The same way that we told us what's going on with Junior, that he's out here haunting shit because he got killed so fast and so brutally, and the shit went down so quick that the shock has his spirit stuck on this earthly plane, and we need the spiritualist to cut that cord. So, love and light to the family. Continue doing your work. Continue doing your transformation. Continue to do your research. Continue to do your studying. Continue to love hard. You know what I mean? It's summertime. Find you one and love hard. I'm looking for one. You know what I'm talking about? I want a summer love. You know what I mean? I'm looking for a summer love. Somebody that I could fall deeply in love with and just get lost in their love. Because what else is left? What else is there but that? You know what I mean? What else is the pursuit of human beings on this planet if it's not to procreate or to bump and grind or to become one when you enter her course? When you connect. You could connect mentally, your hearts could connect, or you could connect physically. You know what I'm talking about? It doesn't always have to be sexual connection. It doesn't always got to be smashing and hitting it from the back and all of that crazy shit. It could be a heart-to-heart connection. It could be finding your twin flame. It could be finding your kindred spirit. It could be, you know what I mean, sapiosexuality or sapiosexual with somebody just in love with your mind. It could be dope conversations. It could be healing. You know what I mean? Because remember, the opposite sex heal each other. The same way that you could destroy and shatter and break each other is the same way that you could come together with that all-set energy, and you could put a saw back together from 14 pieces. It's been done for me before. I was broken. I was in pieces. I was in Atlanta. I was destroyed. I was distraught. And I got put back together by Sister Amina. She was my all set. You know what I mean? We were together for like 6 months. And she put me back together in real time. She healed me. You know what I'm saying? Like, she fixed me for real. And it wasn't like a super duper. It was, she fixed me with love energy and just talking and communication and her light. So that is real. We're going to be at the International African Festival in Brooklyn starting Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday in Commodore Park. If you're in New York City, please pull up. That's going to be the most littiest thing. I think we're going to be filming a twin video on one of those days. I don't know what day specifically, but more than likely it's going to be the Saturday. We're going to be filming the twin video, and we're going to be filming maybe Self-Health Wealth with Kambada. I'll keep you informed. We're going to put it on social media, but we need the family to come out and be in the video. Don't be camera shy, my niggas. Turn up. Wear your motherfucking Sunday's best and come and turn up, because that's an energy video. If you niggas are shy, if you don't know how to milli rock, like, don't come. Don't be in the video. We need some queens, some goddesses, some sisters. You know what I mean? We need our brothers to come through. Wear your amulets. Wear your talismans. You know what I mean? Just wear your pieces. And let's make a movie. You feel me? August the 17th. When we decide to start editing these videos, we'll put the flyer and the commercial in the beginning. But it's just raw right now. You know what I mean? We're doing... Damn, I was supposed to do it vertical. Fuck. Anyway. The 18th and the 19th in Baltimore. And 25th and the 26th of August. This is August 18th and 19th, Baltimore, House of Consciousness. The 24th and the 25th. The 25th and the 26th, pardon me. No, B-More is not the House of Consciousness. Norfolk is the House of Consciousness. The 25th and the 26th is late. And B-More is B-More one day, and then it's Maryland the next day. And the B-More thing, I think it's a church. I'm not 100% sure. I got to holler at Jabari, the promoter. And July 7th, of course, we're going to be at the Sonetta Awards. We're going to be we're going to be performing at the Sonetta TV Awards at the Symphony Space Center on the 7th of July. So pull up, all right? Like I said, go and promote. Go and get that twin album. We're going to leave with another song. Go and get that twin album. Keep supporting. Go and stream it on Spotify, Tidal, or Apple. It is on all the streaming services, all 23 songs. So please.
Well, I have to say this about my sons. Red pill, blue pill, and KTRC3. A mother couldn't have, and a father couldn't have, or a family couldn't have a better setup signs. Because, no, really.
Yo, so Patreon /Red Pillar. Shout out to all of my Patreons. I have a gift for y'all. I got something special coming.
And that's not to say these guys are typical. They got angels. They like.
We crossed the Pacific Atlantic as I was the force of the mystic. The planet is ours. Mechanical powers that slammed at this hour's botanical flowers. We planted the flower. The hour, the man's that empower. More diesel than plants of the sour. More lethal than grams of the powder. Expanding my power. No people programming my hours. Finest in traffic with traffickers. Trafficking finest the fabric. Designers is African. Shriners is Arabic. 44 Maverick. 24 carat drip. 42 savages. Always some savages. Slaves to the lavish shit. Saving them Africans. Haters of papyrus. Age of the activists. Waving the magic stick. Ways of the Nazareth. Rays of the valorous.
Red stones on my red throne. Red throne at these red bones. In a red robe with the red robe. Fence probe when them heads roll.
With the blue steel on the blue moon. Hot as blue flames doing blue shrooms. Got the blueprints leaving blues clues. All this blue money that I blew through.
I am a king, I am a scholar, I am from royalty, I am T'Challa, Wakanda forever, Killmonger forever, I'm true to Shambhala, I'm new to Kabbalah.
The ink of a scholar, we're poured in the blood of a martyr.